welcome you to where I find my ships, and today we got something awesome. We're going to be turning the UC Vigilance into an even longer, bigger, more guns, absolute monster of a vessel. I mean, I thought the Shroud Bearer was big, and this is just Big Bertha, because they don't get much longer than this. You know what they say about someone with a long ship? Well, this thing is absolutely stunning and a lot of fun to try figure out. Now, we're going to turn this into our daily, into a home ship, so we can fly it around the universe just like you would any other ship. Now, if you don't know what legendary ships are or where to find them, I have an awesome video left-hand corner where you check out and improve your odds on how to find these. Do note there are some bugs, so this won't work for everyone necessarily. Obviously, you'll need mods. And if you want a rundown of the UC Vigilance, I have another video here where we break down its components. Consider checking that out as well. If you want some more information on how to get the Vigilance into your inventory, which is what you'll need to do to be able to get this as your daily, we're going to be using lots of mods to do this, and all the relevant mods that you need will be covered at the end. Now, luckily, the UC Vigilant is much more easy to find and get. Always has a set location. It's involved with the story. If you want to find it and make it your home ship, definitely check out that other video. Okay, let's get started. And here we have the UC Vigilance. It is the longest legendary vessel, I'm pretty sure, and we're going to make it even longer. Absolutely stunning though. It is a behemoth, and look all these errors. So this has 7 errors. We're going to clear all these one by one. First, we need to rename it to Big Bertha because it is an absolute beast. Now, we're going to deal with the Docker error. The Docker error is very easy to clear. All we need to do is just remove 4 Dockers that are on the UC Vigilance, because we'll have to place our own functioning Docker. Make sure that we can actually use this as our daily vessel. We're just going to go around to each of the sides and go and delete 4 in total. And that gets us down to 3 errors, which sounds awesome and easy. The next part is connecting the Docker to a landing bay. What we're going to do is we're just going to gut under the cockpit, similar to the Shroud Bearer. Now, we do end up in the end making a few different changes to this. It's just to get some 3x3s, stack them together, attach the landing bay under, and then throw them in. Now, you make this much more accessible if you build certain habs where it's just one vertical ladder straight up to the cockpit, basically. And I'd highly suggest doing that. You're using this more regularly. But yeah, you can go nuts on customizing it. We're gonna need 2 columns of the 3x3s, and then I'm just gonna get a 3x1 and have it kind of like a spine, which will connect our cockpit to the landing bay. And once we've sort of all got it prefabricated and ready to go, we can just select it all. Now you can just double click and drag that into the guts, and that is going to clear none of the errors because I actually was using the wrong type of landing bay. The shipbed 200 landing bay does not work with this setup, so I had to switch it out for the hoped for landing bay, which works very nicely, and we just chuck that under the bottom. Now the good thing is having this at the front is this is much more accessible anywhere you are, of course, but does help. At least in Atlantic City, it's very nice and accessible. So now we're just down to the last 2 errors. So the Docker for this is going to be an easy one to sort because we're just going to stack it at the top. We'll just add an extra module and sit it at the very top, and that will clear that error quite nicely and easily. Now, the most painful one is this unattached modules. This is extremely frustrating on the UC Vigilance because it's so big. It tends to be a bit more performance heavy. It's a lot slower. So many times you go to click one thing, but you've clicked multiple and you're trying to duplicate it and you're wondering what's going on. But anyway, there's a few different problems you'll come across. So we have to go through, figure out how we're going to get all these modules attached. But before we do that, we're going to change the engines up because these engines on the UC Vigilance have no mobility. In fact, they give you negative mobility. So we'll swap out the engines. I tried to put on a few different ones, but I think the best sort of one to go with is the Quasar engines. But we'll come back to these because I changed the design a little bit. But now we'll throw 3 on. So after that, we need to replace some of these other modules that connect to our 3x3s and our cockpit. So to do that, we just need to remove the ones that sit behind it. The 1 or 2 6x3x3, we just delete those. We just grab those, duplicate them, delete the old ones, put the new ones in. The reason we do this is the only way you'll ever be able to clear this modules not attached error. For whatever reasons, this will fix that because duplicating them works some magic, and then they actually count as real parts and connect as normal. So we have to do that where any of these parts aren't connected to the main body of the ship. So another example of that is this part at the front, which definitely took quite a while to sort of figure out how to do. So I tried replacing all the parts multiple times and I had no success, could not get it to connect. So I had to sort of change the overall design and extend it all out. So what I did is I ended up pulling the nose forward, and then I put in a 6x3x3 and then another 6x3x3, and then I duplicated the side, pushed up front, and basically just extended the ship out. That way we can keep the exact shape and design as the original. But what was cool is that we also got the extra cargo, which we will replace with real cargo because these red ones are just placeholders. They don't actually count as cargo. Then we're just going to go around around and replace some of the side bits. Next, we want to add some reactors. I'm going to put 3 of the pinch 8C reactors, line them up next to each other, and then just chuck them on the back. And then we're going to add a ton of fuel. And keep in mind, we have to replace any of the Class M modules that we attach our Class C modules to, just so they connect properly and doesn't give us the unattached error. So with the fuel and reactors attached, looking quite good now. Now, I did replace the cargo, so we actually got real cargo on the UC Vigilance, but the trouble is it is very finicky and this took ages. And what I should have done is attached all the weapons, all the cargo, and then start duplicating the big Class M modules at the very end. Because what I did is I attached all the cargo, then replaced the Class M components so we didn't get the unattached error. But then I added a whole ton of weapons and it just reignites that same not attached issue, and you got to replace them all again. So I ended up having to replace the same Class M modules about 3 different times. This took a couple hours, to be honest, but not doing that again. So a really good tip for all this is add everything you want to, then at the end do the duplication trick to get the modules actually attached as one whole ship so you can clear this last error, because outside doing that it is extremely painful and slow. So not everyone will want to waste their time like that, or they'll just give up, because it takes a lot of time. It's very finicky. So moving on, I did the cargo and then I wanted to add a ton of weapons. So I was just duplicating the weapons that were on there. I really liked the idea of having just a row of weapons on each side. So I went and did that and then had to muck around for ages just getting all the Class M modules duplicated. And then finally, after hours, you've cleared the error. So I just cleared the error and then I went and saved my game. And then I just jumped back in because I just wanted to make a few more changes. So I wanted to change the engines, change a few other things. So after I saved the game, I went into the upgrade tab and strangely enough, I could hook up the Nova Colony launch boosters, which you should not be able to attach to this. So the game allowed me to do it. So we had to try this out and let's have a look what it looks like. It becomes just this abomination. It is absolutely humongous. And you can fly it, these engines, even though they overlap and you would get the error when you go into the shipbuilder. You can still jump in, fly it around, and I'll just give you a little insight to what it looks like. It kind of looks really cool, to be honest, but I noticed it didn't help with mobility at all, and we'll come back to that. But I'd always wanted to see those Nova engines in action, so that was cool to be able to actually test that out and see what it looked like. So I had a bit of fun with that and then wanted to change it so I could get more mobility. So I went back to the Technician and just modified the back by duplicating some of the 6x3x3s and the tails and expanded it out. And then with that, we could have 5 of the Quasar engines. Looks kind of cool to me. Might not be for everyone, but with all the weapons and the engines now fully complete, we've cleared all the errors and it's happy days. Now we can just muck around, get some really nice cool footage. The one thing I forgot to mention is you need to add landing gear for the vessel to sit on top of the ground. If you don't add landing gear, it will just clip into the ground and you can't access it normally. But if you add landing gear, it's all good. You can enter the ship just as normal. You only need to really add 1 because the mods overwrite how many you need, but I've just added a few for the purpose of this video. And with all that done, there you have it. You've got the UC Vista as your daily with some mad modifications. Okay, so we'll quickly go through mods that you'll need. I'll put them all in the description, so it'll just be easy to go there and click on the links and go through the download process. Now, I highly suggest using Mod Organizer 2. If you're using Vortex, bite the bullet, jump over to Mod Organizer 2. It handles plugins a lot better. It's just a much better and easy experience. Now, the install is all very simple for these mods. If you're just following instructions within the mod themselves, if you have any problems, you can reach out or check on the posts within the mods. They'll have all the details. People run into the same problems. So in no particular order, I've got the bigger ship size limit, the ultimate shipyards unlocked, and then you just want to make sure you have all the no engine power limits, the no grav drive, and so on and so forth. They'll be in the description because there's a few of those. It's going back to the ultimate shipyard unlocked. This will allow you to access all the ship modules from all the shipyards, in addition to be able to purchase M-class ship modules. Now, the other one I mentioned was the saved unfinished ships. This one didn't work for me. It might work for you, worth checking out. If it does, let me know if it works for you. This could save you a ton of time by not having to remove and attach all the pieces. Let me know how you go. And next, I'm just going to chop in a bit from some of the other videos on some tips on how to find the Shroud Bearer or legendary ships in general, and as well as the process and steps you need to complete in order to add it to your inventory. Once you find it, the applicable commands will be in the description. So I'll say goodbye for now. That will be everything covered, and hope you got something out of this. Please consider liking, subscribing. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you. Peace out till next time. Oh, and we'll probably do this for each of the legendary ships. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. Peace.